Is up, gamers? Welcome to the channel. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining me. And today we have another developer update here, and this one will be covering a new unit design goal that they have going on. So we'll take a closer look at this, and I'll give you some of my thoughts and opinions on this. And if you would like to look at this yourself and give them some of your own feedback, feel free to check this out. I'll leave a link to this post in the description down below, so please check that out. And then also, if you enjoy this, please like and subscribe to the channel. And if you could also leave a comment for me down below, that'd be very much appreciated. And then finally, if you would like to get caught up on all their previous developer updates that they've done, I've done a video for most of those. And so I'll leave a link up here for you if you would like to check out my playlist for all those videos, and you can get caught up on all that. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's jump into this. So they say one of the things we'd like to explore in the next closed beta test is leaning more heavily into testing certain units that allow players to focus a bit more on the strategy side of the game than the in-combat micro execution side. Just to be clear though, we strongly believe both are very important in battleaces, and our high-level goal is to push to have both. One of the other things we'd like to explore is attempting to attract players who have little to no RTS experience to get over the initial difficulty of playing battleaces. So first up, I have to say I really like this. I think this is also very important. I myself am someone who also has very little to no experience with other RTS titles. I think the thing is, if you look at RTS as a genre, I don't think it's really growing all that much. From what I've seen and from the intel that I've gathered on it, it doesn't look like RTS is really growing all that much. And I think battleaces has the potential to help it grow. Obviously, battleaces is going to be very different than your traditional RTS, but I think it's going to make for a very good gateway to get people into the more traditional RTSs. And so I think battleaces has a lot of potential in that regard. And, so I think they need to kind of lean into that to give them the greatest chance for the most success, really. I think it is good that they are wanting to branch out beyond that and look to bring more people in to the genre. Anyway, let's continue on. We've been exploring various things towards these goals, and we believe we've located a unit that looks to fit these goals. So I wanted to do an overview on what the unit is and what our goals are specifically with this unit. And for the next test, the Guardian Shield is a passive core slot unit that makes your workers immune to damage and gives your core and resource spaces a passive attack. Their attack deals high damage against core units, but is not effective against higher tier units. We are currently giving this unit with an equip tutorial towards the start of the Proving Grounds experience. So my initial instincts to this is a little bit of hesitation. I love to try out new things, new concepts, and ideas like this. So I'd totally be all in on trying this out and see if it works. And I'm sure they'll kind of expand a little bit more on some of the concerns and whatnot. And I really like the idea of having something that's going to be very beneficial for newer players, easy for them to kind of pick up and learn, and not have to focus quite as much on things like defending your base, basically. I like that idea of it, but there can be some concerning aspects about this. Obviously, we wouldn't want this to be too strong and overpowered, and we wouldn't want this to be the best way to play the game necessarily. We probably don't want this to be the best meta at the highest level. And so let's just keep reading and see what else they have to say about it, and I'll give some more thoughts as we go. Next they say, and these are our main goals for this unit. New players who haven't quite learned the ins and outs of timings and unit relationships yet, this unit can feel overpowered, plus is all around enough to not have to worry about early attacks. There's enough room for more experienced players to exploit the weaknesses of the Guardian Shield being brought in so that most players can graduate out of the Guardian Shield, being so all-around of a choice. There's still room even for experienced players to build effective, situationally awesome decks around the unit. The strength of the Guardian Shield is it makes tier 1 attacks very difficult, therefore somewhat forces a higher tiered strategic play, e.g. I can't just blink micro in tier 1 to have a massive advantage going into tier 2 against the Guardian Shield. That's pretty interesting, but let's keep reading here. The weakness of the Guardian Shield is you don't have strong enough anti-air outside of tier 1. So those of you who played against decks that bring in 2 matter-only units at the core, the weakness is similar. If you have Guardian Shield, you can't stop my butterflies unless you tech to tier 2 anti-air. So that's interesting. So I wonder if you take the Guardian Shield, are you not allowed to also take another anti-air tier 1 unit then? Not sure how that would work. Let's keep reading here. And granted, it's a small sample size. We are seeing decent results on both the strength and weakness of the Guardian Shield in internal testing. This is why we believe this unit is ready for bigger scale testing to determine next steps needed to hit our goals. We know this one could be challenging for new players in certain ways, so we'll be keeping an eye on whether it needs to be changed. Okay, and here we have the screenshot of what it looks like here. So it looks like it's just like a buff that goes on your core, and then this is the range. Hold on, let's see. It says Guardian Shield is a passive unit. You don't build it, it's always active. Workers have an immunity shield around them, and green circle indicates my core's attack range. Okay, so this is the core and the attack range, and they have a shield on the workers indicating you can't attack them or destroy them. And I would assume the other secondary resource space has the same thing. I believe this is passive. What they're saying, I believe it applies to every resource space. Yeah, so according to this here, it sounds like it'll apply to every resource space that you get in the future as well. So that'll be interesting. And then here's the screenshot of what the unit will look like in the unit deck selection screen, I'm assuming. We see the attack cooldown is 1 second, I believe that is. It should be 1 second with a range of 18, damage 400 to most units, and then 1200 damage to core units. I gotta say, I think it's very cool and very interesting. I definitely can't wait to try this out. I think this is a good attempt, and we'll just have to see how it plays. I don't think we could make a final decision yet as to whether it's good or not for the game overall, but I think it's good for the game in theory, at least. And we'll just have to see how it plays in execution. You know, I think there should be a good way to add this to the game and to make it balanced. I think that's a little bit of the fear behind some of these more extreme examples of units. The fear is that it's not going to be balanced very well, or it's going to be very difficult to balance. For example, another very extreme unit that they were testing out was the Raider, and they said that they were going to take the Raider away for now and possibly rework it later. The Raider was a unit that could only attack workers, and it was extremely good at attacking workers, but there just wasn't a good way to balance that. Either it would just be too good and it would eliminate all the workers instantly, and then you would have no counterplay to it, or you would have counterplay to it and then the Raider itself would just be useless. So extreme units like that can be a bit problematic, and usually they just end up being too niche, where again, they're either too good or not good enough. I think I would have to say my only concern is I'm not sure I would want this to be so good and effective that you couldn't win with tier 1 only units. I think this would be great if it's just giving you that brief window of a buffer, so that you're not dying and losing the game immediately in the first, let's say minute of the game from a wasp rush or something like that. I think that would be a good place for this. If everybody's doing that quick wasp rush, hornet rush or whatnot, and you just want to slap this on there to protect you from that and not have to deal with that, I think that would be a great spot for this. However, let's say you have this and your opponent's just doing something like gun bots or recalls or whatnot. I think if you were to just keep expanding with the Guardian Shield and not tech up, I think there should be a window in there where you eventually do get overwhelmed by the opponent who's going something like the recall, gun bot, or blinks even, where they can jump in and destroy one of your resource bases, possibly. And hopefully the passive Guardian Shield isn't strong enough to hold back, massive amounts of tier 1 core units. I hope that makes sense. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I think the Guardian Shield should, from the sound of it, I think it would be cool if the Guardian Shield was strong in the very early game to prevent those quick wasp rushes, and maybe a few other minor attacks and whatnot. But I don't think it should necessarily continue to be strong on its own. If this is the only thing you're doing, you're just expanding to 5 bases with this, I think eventually you should be able to get overrun once your opponent builds up enough core tier 1 units to overwhelm you. I could be a little off on that, and we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. I would definitely be very excited to try this and to see if I could get it to work at some of the higher levels of gameplay and whatnot. So I'm glad to see that even despite them kind of going back on the Raider, they're still willing to try some of these more creative types of units and whatnot. And they're not sticking with the tried and true always, and definitely giving something else a try. Anyway, so I hope they're getting really close to bringing back the next closed beta. I'm super excited to play some more of this game, and like I said in the last one, even if they aren't quite ready for a full closed beta, hopefully they'll at least open it up for a few days. They said they were kind of looking into possibly doing that. They were, talking about possibly bringing it back here and there for just a couple of days, a short weekend or something, just to give us a chance to whet our appetite again. So we'll see what they do next. I'll definitely keep an eye out for any news on that, and I'll definitely let you guys know. So please, if you're looking forward to more Battle Aces and when it's coming back, subscribe to my channel, give this video a like if you could, and comment as well. And I'll try to keep you as up to date as I possibly can on any further news of this game, and especially when the beta is coming back. So with that said, I think that'll do it for this one. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you again soon in the next one.